Hey everyone, and welcome back to another fun episode of Minecraft. As you guys can see just by where we are, we're continuing this episode on the ice shelf. I'm working on the map. Working on the maps, trying to make our area larger, and we're finding the Antarctic, and we're finding other countries as well. This actually will show you guys what I saw just expanding the maps when I had nothing better to do, and I just wanted to play a little Minecraft just to de-stress. So, I did this episode already about 2 days ago, but I had to delete the audio that I recorded because my idiotic ass decided to get drunk, and remembering the guidelines of Minecraft, I couldn't use the audio because I let my buddy's kid speed bump in on it, and you could hear me slurring my words. And I wasn't making sense half the time. I was almost falling asleep sitting up, and I listened to both of the audios. It did not sound good. It didn't sound professional. It didn't sound like anyone who was trying to make a video or had common sense. So I decided, you know what? I'll just redo it. So, yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about this episode, I have been scrolling through the internet this last week, and these few videos popped out at me, and apparently it was a bigger thing earlier this year and later part of last year from the feminist movement. Saying that men are now obsolete, that men are no longer needed. Now, I don't say this lightly. I think of myself as a feminist. I see myself as, oh, you want equality? Okay. But knowing that you want equality, if you want to be treated the same as a guy, that means you have to be able to, that doesn't mean you only get the good things. It means you get the bad shit too. You want to get paid the same as a man, which has already been going on. Cool. We'll do that, but then you have to put the same work in. You can't do, like a couple of my ex-coworkers, oh, I want equal pay, but I only want to work a certain job that doesn't pay that much. Like, she got upset with me because I was working third shift and I was working a heavier duty job of cleaning. Like, I was dealing with chemicals, and I was dealing with sanitation work, and I was dealing with. She just wanted to work on the line on first shift. First off, third shift alone had a shift differential that said if you work third shift, you get an extra 35 cents at the end of the day. It wasn't per hour, it was at the end of the day, because you are doing this extra shift. First shift was only given 15 at the end of each shift. She thought it was unfair. Plus, when you did sanitation, you got an extra 15 cents at the end of your shift because you were using chemicals. You had to learn more stuff. And after that, if you wanted to, you could apply for the sanitation job and get the sanitation pay. She didn't realize when I said all this stuff why I was getting paid about, say, 50 cents more a day, why she wasn't getting that same pay. She thought it was just because I was a man I was getting it, which was kind of fucked up because there were several women on third shift as well and on the sanitation crew, and actually were, like my friend Jody, part of the sanitation team. It wasn't just, oh, we're just going to do this for the guys. No, women on my crew were part of this, and they had the same, yeah. So, the whole thing of, I'm sure it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But I'm saying Always assuming that, oh, we don't get paid the same as men because of this and this and this. It's not that. It could be a bunch of different outcomes, and so many people have shown the data, shown the facts that it's not just, oh, he's a guy, he's going to get paid more than me. If that's the fact, then let's look at car insurance. Women have an unfair advantage over men. Women, and this is true, even car companies will say this, women have a better car insurance than men because their insurance say like this. I have a 2004 Tahoe. If a woman had a 2004 Tahoe, same age, same everything as me, she would be paying about $10 less than me, because being a white male in my 20s, my insurance is high because they know from the past, and it's a stereotype, that men in their 20s are idiots. So, they make our insurance high. Women, on the other hand, they see them as safe drivers. But if they saw how my mother drives, especially when she's like pulling out in the traffic going Chicago your side, and me almost getting hit in the passenger seat, oh no, her insurance would be through the fucking roof. And yeah, that part of it, the whole feminist movement of, I get, you want to fight for equality and all that, cool. But then that also means something else for you. If, say, like the insurance, if my insurance is high, your insurance should be high. If, say, and they've proven that about all the outdoor jobs, most of the hard outdoor jobs like bricklayers, pipe workers, sewer maintenance, is not always done by women. It's 80% men. If women want us to be like, sure, you can be equal, they should then improve the numbers in those fields so it's a 50-50. Instead of just being school or doctors or nurse or going for a high-paying job. If they want equality to men, roll up their sleeves and join the men in the grunt works, in the dirty work, in the outside work, in the harsh work. One thing that they brought up in all these videos is that apparently, for people who don't know, when you have a child, from the parents, mom has the Y chromosome, dad has the X chromosome, or I have that mixed up. All I know is that they said that the father's chromosome, the male chromosome, is slowly disappearing. It is becoming more women. And it's going to be about 100,000 years before the male genome completely goes extinct. And this is based off facts from scientists. This means that men are going to die out. The age of man will end and the age of women will begin. But what a lot of people forget is that things mutate all the time, so it could die and then suddenly regain strength and be back. So there is that. And that's from scientists saying this and doctors. But a lot of women hear this and they're like, yay, the great Yahweh or God himself is saying that men are no longer needed. So in about 100,000 years, when we're all dead, dust, and gone, we will control the earth and men will be no more. If that's true, I'd hate to see what society looks like, because women forget that they rely on men a lot more than what they like to admit. Even the feminists, all the feminists hate to admit that they rely on a guy at least once a day. Because guess what? I'm not sure about you guys, but I like having power in my home. Run by a guy or a girl in the power plant, so we can say it's either one. I like having the sewer so I can flush my toilet. Yep, I have that. It's actually kind of nice, because mainly that's a man job, because women aren't in that field. I like looking at the buildings when I'm walking around in bigger cities, because men, which are 85 to 92% of the workforce, is men for bricklayers. They built that. You look through anything in history besides the NASA or a few other small projects, it is mainly the men who are building it. And when we went to the moon, it was not women up there at first. It was men. Because it's one of those things where women forget that, yes, guys are pigs sometimes. Yes, we're a bunch of different things. But that doesn't mean that we have not achieved great things for them. Man who invented penicillin. Man who invented insulin or discovered them so you could survive, say, an infection or, say, diabetes. Thomas Edison and his group of inventors. Light bulbs. Easy enough. We already talked about the bricklayers who built brick houses. Guess what? That's a lot of houses. The construction workers, yes, some are female, but a lot are male, who help build the cities we now live in. And plumbers who are constantly coming over to help fix everything. Yes, women are in it, but when you think about it, you don't think of, say, a woman in the uniform holding a wrench coming to fix your sink. You think more of a big old greasy man with overalls coming in with a pipe wrench. And that's the stereotype, too. It's one of those things now where it's like, okay, I get it. Feminists want to control everything. They don't. And that's the fun thing. Feminists do not want equality. Feminists are going for control. Don't believe me? Here's an actual thing from one of the KAM. This is an actual thing. Hashtag KAM. Kill all men. First off, if you kill all men, just in the United States, so you just want to clear your country, see how it goes, other militaries, which are only men, are going to come and destroy whatever country you live at. Because about 7 times out of 10, men are stronger than women. Genetically proven. And not only genetically proven are stronger, but are also able to withstand the weather better. We can't withstand pain like women, but we can do a lot of other fun things that make women look at us like we're idiots. Like, let's say, one thing women can't understand about men. Why do you need to blow things up? We can literally just take a huge, boulder of snow, push it off a bridge, watch it hit the ice, and just go boom. And guys are giggling like kids. It's not because, we made it go boom. It's because it's one of those things where we had something and now it's gone. So, what women forget is we'll do that. We'll do that with explosives. You ever see a bunch of military guys trying to send off an IED? There's a video online where these guys are giggling, laughing, taking it like a serious job, but they're giggling and laughing and running around, running to set this thing off, then getting behind a tank, and then thing goes off. It's I just don't understand why you want to kill all men. Also, there's the adult side of this. Why would you want to get rid of all men when a lot of women, about a quarter of the planet, are Christian, where homosexuality is a sin? In Lutheranism and Christianity and Catholicism, actually, I take it back. There's about 3/4 of the world in all religion, homosexuality is a sin, and they have to deal with it. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that a lot of women believe in this stuff, and you then want to go and sleep with women now, because humans are one of the few creatures, besides dolphins, who have sex and reproduce, have intercourse for fun and pleasure. So you're going to go from wanting a guy with the original recipe material given to us, our dicks, and you want us to go and just start sleeping with women even though you are attracted to men. Or you want to start just buying all these fucking toys like left, right, and center. Well, that's fun and dandy because, yeah. But why not just hang on to guys? Because not only do we have the genetic material needed for reproduction, we also have the original tools, so it's fun for both you and me. And this is something that I actually argue about with my mother. She always says, because I'm always arguing about this. I always argue about this. Women also treat men as second-class parents. So, if something were to happen to, let's say a male has a son, and something happens at school, they will call the mother first before the father. And also, when it comes to abortion, which I know is a huge, 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 huge topic right now in the United States, which it shouldn't even be a fucking issue. It should be women's choice, but thing is, the woman has the right to decide what goes on with her body. I agree there are 2 times where a woman should be allowed to abort the pregnancy. I don't believe in abortion, but I do believe there are 2 reasons why. 1, she was raped, and she doesn't want the baby because it will remind her of her attacker. Say it was also from incest. I know someone who had that happen to them. It is not a funny matter. It is something serious. And secondly, if it is one of those things where it affects the mother and the baby. So say there was a whole thing about this in a court case where a woman, the baby got stuck in one of the fallopian tubes, or it got stuck in a certain part of the body where if the baby were to have grown, it would have killed the mom, and then that would have killed the baby. You would have lost them both. So the doctor recommended an abortion to get the baby out. It kills the child, but you can always try again. Well, she got fired from her job for that. I don't agree with that. It was to endanger both of them. You can easily have the baby and everything. So her body, her rules, I get that, but as I just said, you need men to help reproduce. Don't we get any say? Any at all? I mean, my mother always says, well, you get to have your 5 or 2 minutes of fun, and then we get to spend 9 months carrying it. Yes, that's correct. You do carry it. You do have the hardest part, one of the hardest parts of the job. I say one of the hardest because when that man becomes a parent, he then has the second part of a hard job as a team partner, as a partnership job of raising a child. Yes, carrying a child is hard, but parenting is just as hard. Because unless you have, you were born with little brothers and sisters, and you weren't a single child, or you didn't babysit when you were a kid, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. So it's scary. And it goes for women too. If you've never had kids and suddenly you have one, it's one of the hardest jobs. So saying that, why is it a woman can say this? She can be like, let's just say Bill and Susie. So Susie can come home from the doctor and say, hey, Bill, I'm pregnant. And Bill can say, well, I'm not ready to have a child. Can we abort the pregnancy? And she can go, no, I'm keeping it. And you're going to be responsible. Now, she's saying he will be responsible. Which means even if he is not in this child's life, he is paying 18 years of child support to help with this child, which as he should. But at the same time, it could have been reversed. Susie could have come home and said, hey, I got pregnant, and he could have said, sweet, so when are you due? And she went, no, before I came home I had an abortion. It could have been like that, and he had no say. He has no say. So, what I think is this. If that is what can happen with a woman instead of a man, I say this. If she is willing to go through with the pregnancy, she should, and it's not up to the guy. The guy should be able to be like, okay, I don't want to be the father. I have a friend right now who actually believes in this too, and she actually did this, what I'm about to say. She says he just wants visitation rights. That's all he wants. He doesn't pay child support. He comes up from Chicago, picks her up in Wisconsin, and goes back down. When they're done visiting for, say, the week, they bring her back up, which is awesome for her. That way she can work. She's pregnant with a second child, and she's able to have both children. The second father, she has 2 baby days. The second father will be paying child support because that's not my story to tell. But it's one of those things where it's, are you kidding me right now? You have, women are able to say what's going on with their body, yes, but I say this, if they are saying I'm having this baby, the guy could be like this, well then you're raising the child. I do not want to be a parent. Because a woman can easily go, I do not want to be a parent, and abort it, or, yeah, they can easily do that. Guys don't have a choice. Moment a child is even mentioned, he's either on the hook or he's not. So if you're able to abort the pregnancy and opt out of the pregnancy, a man should be able to opt out of being a father. It's only fair. Or if you're going to force him to be a father, give him equal rights to the mother. Where if she says, oh, he's only allowed this and this and this, and he has nothing saying that he's a bad guy, he should not have any restrictions. He should not have any guidelines he has to follow. If he is a good guy, if he is a model citizen, he should be able to be like this. No, I think I'll be able to come over and see my child whenever I would like. No, if I believe I should be able to make my schedule and have my child when I am able to, instead of having it going around your schedule. Like that. Something easy that it's an adult thing. That's where, oh, I have a life too. You don't want me in your life anymore? That's one thing. I am staying in my child's. I want to know what I need to do and what I am able to do. Because I know some stand-up dudes who put dads to shame with how much they are able to, how much they put their foot down over the mom. And because I know some guys, even my stepdad, who were royally fucked, and it ruined the relationship with their kids. It's one of those things where it's an asshole part on the mother, because they're trying to protect their kid. They don't want the kid ending up like their father. They don't want the father to be like, oh yeah, I'm da 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 da, and fuck around. I highly get that. I get that. But at the same time, you can't say, oh, he's a piece of shit then. My father did that. My mother, I'm hopping all over the place with this because it pisses me off. My mother did the absolute fucking best she could to raise me and my sister right. She never spoke ill of my father. Not once. In the entirety of my childhood, my mother always said, he is your father, you will respect him. She told us what he was when I was about 10, where he's an alcoholic, he likes to drink. She didn't say it makes him an asshole. She didn't say anything along that. And being a kid, you don't understand what it means to be an alcoholic. It wasn't till we were grown. My sister knew well before me, because Mom sat her down and told her. It wasn't until 15, or no, 15, no, actually I think 14, where Mom actually sat me down. She goes, Garrett, you are now a teenager. You are now grown up. I no longer have to hide the information from you. I no longer have to protect you. And she told me what my father was. She told me the stories of what he did when he was younger. She told me the stories of the atrocious things he did to my family. She told me everything. And telling me, I didn't want to tell you until you were able to take it. And for years, I always thought I was going to be the thing that killed my father. Now, staying on track, I learned all this, and I never spoke an ill word of my father. But my mom told me, even though she never did, my father would send home 2 little fucking shitheads, me and my sister, saying all kinds of illicit, evil fucking shit. Saying that she was a whore. She got her job by laying on her back. Oh, I don't have to listen to a bitch like you. All that kind of shit. And my mom couldn't punish me. She could tell me I was wrong, and she could tell me why it hurt so bad to hear that. But as a kid, you don't know any better. Dad told me, Dad said this, Dad said this, Dad said this. It wasn't until I got older that I realized, oh shit, and it still hurts to know I said that kind of stuff to my mom. Like, it hurts. And that's the equality thing I'm talking about. Like, my mom always told me to respect my father, even though he was a piece of shit. It should work like that still today. It's equality. It's you're the parent of a child. There is no kill all men. It is man, woman, work as a team. Or woman, work as a team. Man, work as a team. Trans, work as a team. It doesn't matter. 2 people work together. It takes a village to raise a kid. So find a good village, find good people, and start helping raise children. Because I will say this, the children nowadays. But because these videos of saying kill all men, kill all men, kill all men, women rule, go feminism. I'll admit, yeah, we need to stand up for women. But men have been doing that for years already. The Democrats or the Republicans, whichever side you're on, how they decide to fight for Roe versus Wade, how way back when women were getting the right to vote, it wasn't women who started that shit, it was men. Men realized there were a lot of women in this country, a lot of untapped potential voters. Women didn't want it. Men told them they could have it. And then women suddenly got behind it, and it's like, yeah, women fought for it. No, men started it. Oh, you want clothing and all that stuff? Men did that, and for some reason we decided to fuck you over royally, women. Not saying your waist and your leg length. No, you go to Walmart. Oh, a 16 fits you like a rubber glove, nice and tight, and just how you like your pants. Yeah, you go over to, say, fucking Target. A 16 fits you like a fucking wind sail on a windy day. Or a 14 is so tight that you can't even breathe or get your butt in it. Show me where that makes fucking sense. And for some reason, most of your guys' shit does not have pockets. Has anyone else ever noticed that your pants do not always have pockets? Or how your feminine products are astronomically expensive. Astronomic. All the pads, tampons. Men only have to pay for condoms, really, and soap. And even condoms are expensive. I think the government's trying to tell us to quit fucking, but all I know is this, that this whole kill all men thing is bullshit, especially because of the one thing they also said, which will probably be the last thing I rant about for the next 13 minutes. It's the fact that people have found out, or it's the rumor from the videos, that women's bone marrow contains a type of sperm and that they could take that sperm, take an egg from the woman, fertilize the egg, put the egg back in as a, like they do now for inseminations, and they can get pregnant like that. And then they can carry the child, and they said about 98% of the people that are born that way, would be female. That's great. There's a problem with that. Yes, you have the sperm and you have the egg, which make people, but that's a Y and a Y chromosome. The fuck? You need a Y and an X. Or if the sperm is an X, guess what that means? You're putting double your genetic code together. You're pretty much just making a clone. That's it. You are just recreating yourself. Another thing is, even scientists have said, after they said about this discovery, we are nowhere near the necessary equipment, necessary technology, and necessary techniques to take this bone marrow sperm, excuse me, yawned, this bone marrow sperm, add it to an egg, and produce an offspring. We are not there yet. Because guess what they found out? Yeah, you can do it. They also found you can make a dinosaur very easily. Doesn't mean you should. They found out that you can crossbreed certain animals and genetically engineer them so they are subservient to man. Doesn't mean you should. We have found diseases, and we have rewritten their codes so that they only affect like people with blue eyes, that in their genetics, and that's the people that they kill. The others are completely left untouched. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. Saying that, it's one of those things where, yes, you can. Yes, of course. Yes, that makes you fucking awesome. Doesn't mean you fucking should. I can drive down the street with just my feet and leaving the cruise control on. Don't mean I should. I can go out with no rubbers in my pocket, screw 3 women, and have 3 babies. Doesn't mean I should. It's one of those things where, yeah, I get it. I get it. Women are trying to find ways to be like, yeah, we can do anything. Yeah, we can do anything. That's great. But as my mother, a feminist and someone who fought for feminism in Janesville, she fought for it during her younger years in the 70s and 80s, during the 80s, during the 70s and 80s. Said, and I quote, "I believe in feminism. I believe the equality of man and woman, but that also means something else. If a woman wants the same wants to be paid the same as you, she has to work like you." So, and this is actually a story from my work that she agrees with me on. So if, say, someone comes up to you and tries to bat her eyelashes, rub on your arm, or try and, like, touch your leg or something and be like, you know, you should actually do this work. I want to go sit down and play on my phone. And I go, are you supposed to be helping me with it? And she go, yep. I'm in my right to be like, no, get your shit together. Let's get this shit done. And walk away. I actually had a coworker that did that. And she tried everything in the book to try and get other guys to do her work. Another thing is, if a woman thinks she can lay their hands on you as a guy, and she is spouting off about equality, nope. That means if she can swing like a man, she can take a hit like a man. My mom always told me, I don't care if you have an abusive wife and she is deciding to beat you. Full on beat you. You have the right to not only defend yourself, you have the right to throw a punch. You have the right to defend yourself, you have the right to throw a punch. Just because of one thing. If she's man enough to throw the first punch, knowing that she is at the physical disadvantage, she is man enough then to suffer the consequences. Because if a man were to walk up to a man and start doing that shit, and threw the first punch, that man would get the royal shit kicked and punched out of him. Not condoning just beating somebody, but if for self-defense, my mother always says, if she spouts off being a feminist and she wants to throw a punch, that means she can take a punch. You don't need to beat the living tar shit out of her, but you can throw a punch back and get out of that situation very quickly. So, that being said, I've also had my parents have physical altercations like that where my mom threw a punch, Dad pushed her, and Mom even said afterwards, it's like, no, I threw the punch. He just defended himself. And that's how my mom is. She'll actually be that person like, no, it's not abuse, it's not assault. I threw the first punch. He pushed me out of the way so I'd stop. Or she once told me about a time one of her exes slapped her. She slapped him. He slapped her back. And it's like, okay, that works. I still think that's kind of, everyone forgets about that. If we want equality, like I said in the beginning, we need good and bad. You don't just get all the good stuff that men fought for other men for. You need to have the bad shit too. I mean, I can even see them opening Marines and Army for active duty for women, which I found out one way, and this is actually, you can go on Angry Cops where a woman actually talks about this for getting an honorable discharge. And one of her big things was to go through the barracks and sleep with every guy in there and get pregnant. Because then you get set at a certain job and you don't have to do anything. And then you take leave to have your child, raise your child up a little bit, and then you come back, or they just discharge you. And she says that's an easy way to get an honorable discharge, so you are in the military, but you're out of the military, and you can still collect the benefits. I heard that, and I just got sick to my goddamn stomach. Which is easier, just quitting and being like, hey, I'll take an honorable discharge, I'll lose my benefits, but I still want to get out of the military. I mean, I think this ain't for me. Or, you know what, I'm going to have an 18-year, or longer with the recession going on, an 18-year burden. A lifelong worry in my life from now until the day I die. Because I don't want to be in the military anymore, and getting pregnant is a lot more fun than doing a little bit more paperwork. And this woman in this video seemed very fucking proud of this. But yeah, you don't hear that from guys. Guys don't get that. Guys can't be like, hey, yo, drill sergeant, or hey, yo, lieutenant, I gotta take time off because my wife is pregnant and I think she's about to have the baby. No, if they say, no, you're going to Qatar next week to help fight against opioid distribution by Al-Qaeda, we need you over there, have fun fighting in the sand. You're over there fighting in the fucking sand. There is no yes, no, or maybe. It is only, gotcha, boss. Guys don't get that luxury. A lot of people forget that men are what the pillars of what a lot of people stand on, military-wise, regular people-wise, and that when women go, kill all men, it's pretty much a slap in the face. If you don't like men doing shit for you, go and find yourself a different country where men, better yet, women, as an American, this actually hurts me to say this, women, if you don't like it here in America where men rule things, please pack your bags and move to Russia, where it is, I think, 4 women to 1 man because of all the infighting I have. all the insight wars, all the fighting they do and bullshit, and the executions they do because someone said something they didn't like said that vodka wasn't as good as bourbon, and they shot him on the spot. Go over there, have fun. The few men you find, have fun finding a husband. Because right now, men can go over there and just be like, I'm from America. The women will not only want to sleep with you, but they will also try to marry you there and leave Russia because they hate Russia, and they would come over to the United States so that they could actually have a fulfilling life. Or they want a green card to get over here to leave you, take nothing up from you, and then be able to go across America and actually find a husband they actually want, because now they are in, pardon the pun, in the sea of dicks. Where I think it's now, right now, for men, I think it's 2 men for every woman in America. Or it's the other way around, like women are starting to outnumber men, and that's another thing. Guys are always like, oh, there's no women. I can actually say there are no single women around me that want to go for me. And women in the comments down below, help me understand this. At a bar, I can talk and joke, and I am very engaging. Very engaging. Yet, at the end of the day, at the end of everything, they go for someone who's been sitting in the corner, minding his own business, not talking to anyone, pretty much just playing on his phone the entire time. She talks to me, and she finds out, oh, I have my own vehicle, I have a job, I don't have any baby mamas, no kids, and I live renting out a room from my buddy. Compared to this other guy who has an ankle bracelet because he's on parole. He doesn't own a vehicle. He's $40,000 in debt. He's got 3 baby mamas, a 4th one on the way. He lives at home with his mom and dad, has no job, and apparently girls at my age, 27, about to be 28 or older, go in their 30s, don't look at it and go, that seems kind of weird. His life isn't together just yet. Instead, they go, ooh, fun time. And they put me on the back burner until, say, I do find a woman. Then they want to show back up and be like, wait, we talked in the bar. You're actually a really nice guy. Do you want to do this? And I had to tell them no. Tell me in the comments why you women think like that. So, yeah. You guys get next another minute from me, and then this episode's done. Next week we got another video like this coming out, and I think I'm just going to talk about the channel a little bit because it's about an hour long. So, yeah. So, without further ado, guys, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, leave a like down below. Subscribe today. And please remember, have fun playing in the dark. Again, I'm sorry that I had to remake this video and I rambled on about the whole kill all men. It really irks me when women want to say all this shit and they have all these very loose facts and they don't look at it like, oh, I'm an adult. I should make a better opinion. So, again, without further ado, thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, leave a like down below. Subscribe today, and please remember, have fun playing in the dark. I will see you guys in the next one. Night.
AudioMicro.com